You say goodbye, you know, and we didn't know if we were going to make it.
Mom, help.
I just need your cold tattoo pressing against my face.
Capturing moments is the essence of what we do every single day, because it is through those moments that we can know the soul of our community and perhaps foster empathy among neighbors. They are glimpses into our lives.
See you when you get back. Happy!
Joy, celebration,
Mom, I think it's starting.
passion,
It's starting! Oh!
heartache.
Yeah, that's just get you.
It's kind of like a futuristic robot monster.
Or we get shot up because, we thought he had a gun.
It doesn't look the same. It's not the same. It will never be the same. A lot of memories were lost.
Moments allow us to feel and to connect.
You know, he was a special kid, you know. We're really going to miss Tom.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Everybody loved Donnie, so it's really hard to think that anybody killed him.
Moments offer perspective.
Amen.
They show us that the heart of the events that shape our world
Oh, can I give you a hug?
are the lives of those affected.
It's nice that people like you worry about old codgers.
I'm Heather Graff, and for the next hour, we invite you to experience the biggest stories of 2015 through the eyes of the people who lived them and the photojournalists who told their stories. Please join our nationally recognized team for this King 5 special. Take a moment. Coming up, Seattle's passion on display.
He is America's senator.
Yeah, we go to cover a political rally. Okay, here's some crowd, here's some supporters.
Thank you, Seattle.
Bernie was announced,
One of the most progressive.
and then next thing I know, I turned back.
If you do not listen to her, your event will be shut
The
down.
whole stage was taken over by the Black Lives Matter movement. While they're taking over the microphone and saying why they're there, you're hearing the boos from the crowd. I even had this great sound of this one woman saying, "We already supported you once."
Here to hear Bernie.
Sanders kind of threw his hands up. He's like, "I'm done. They're not going to give up the stage, obviously." He went down into his supporters.
Thank you very much.
When it comes to Seattle and their passion for politics, they definitely like to hear, get their word out and be heard.
Say, not in our town.
Not our town.
Oh no, I just think of it as, it's just real life, man.
Life in the moment as it's happening.
But you don't need to block traffic.
I think we saw the heart of this region this year.
I am not out of order. I'll talk when I want to talk.
It's real life on display,
Let's put the words back up on the sign.
just raw emotion.
We can pause it right here tonight and go put that sign back up. Motion carries.
I think this was the year of spirit.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
think this is an incredible moment for the future of public education.
Hey, what do you say?
I think it's important to hear people's stories.
Respecting the profession, respecting the work that we do.
We connect with stories. We can relate to what people tell us. We can relate to their experiences.
And nations will not make war our nation anymore. Let us stand for peace, justice, and freedom.
People in the Northwest are not afraid to make their voices heard. And in a region where protest is ingrained in the culture, 2015 saw one story after another about the passion with which people will stand by their beliefs. And many of this year's demonstrations were fueled by love.
It has to take place here in Seattle, too.
We grieved when terrorists attacked the French newspaper offices of Charlie Hebdo in January, killing 12.
If you're going to kill free speech, then you're going to have to kill everybody. And that includes me.
And again, 11 months later, when a string of attacks throughout Paris killed 130.
Today, Seattle says, we are all Parisians.
And in June, Seattle celebrated after the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling on same-sex marriage.
It was just a huge party.
They were singing.
There were drag queens running down the street. And, you know, the Lady Marmalade.
I saw a lot of couples holding hands.
I'll never forget the news being announced and Facebook lighting up with rainbows.
It wasn't like a celebration of the ruling that just came down, but a celebration of all their years of working.
Protesting in kayaks, yeah, very Seattle.
It just made sense. You're like, we're gonna protest in kayaks. Well, yeah, of course you are, because that's what Seattle would do.
They call themselves a mosquito fleet because, like a mosquito that's tiny.
The Polar Pioneer could eat me in one bite.
But it's a huge pain.
You can't tell anyone's story if you're, you know, off to the side somewhere. So I got my kayak and I got down in them.
Eric Sander had the opportunity to be in the yacht.
As Allison put it, he chose the kayak over the yacht, and we let him.
1,200 people here. Oh, that thing was so big. You're not gonna stop it, but that's not the point. The point is to just be there and to let the people on the Polar Pioneer know that you're watching. They felt like it was a success.
But not all protests were as tame.
When you're a kid, you're just there to ride the carousel.
Christmas Bromley!
Like honestly, you're there to ride a carousel and look at Santa. Then right next door to these kids are, you know, Black Lives Matters protesters. The kids are kind of looking at them and they don't really know what's going on. I think that's the ultimate ignorance is bliss kind of moment for me.
Yeah, shoppers were shopping for Christmas presents.
Their thing the whole day was Black Friday doesn't matter, Black Lives Matter.
Sorry we spoiled your Black Friday.
And they made their way through downtown Seattle. They were stopping traffic. They stormed into Macy's.
Too loud.
And I think the Macy's officials just gave up.
They tried to get into Westlake Center.
A lot of people trying to get through. A lot of security guards there not letting them through.
It's the one moment that comes to mind. She said something about how she was frustrated.
I said all lives matter.
And then she goes,
and it's Christmas.
And it's Christmas.
There's different priorities between people here in Seattle that day.
And on May Day, again, there was violence.
There's this one day that is a day for, you know, First Amendment rights.
Today should be about our freedom to protest.
We have this one protest that seems to gather at the end of the day, year after year. And there are some who go in with more authentic reasons, and then you have others that are in there just to cause trouble and just to wreak havoc because they think that they can.
I think that's always a question, how far it's going to escalate.
It definitely intensified. The crowd finally rounded itself back up to the Seattle Community College campus. They came in with bats and sticks and they just started hitting this piece of art. And then you have these other protesters who are out there for a different purpose, which is, yeah, we're protesting this one issue, but you know what? Not to destroy public art.
If you're going to have a protest, don't with art.
I just was like, I have to get in there and I have to stay in there, but I also have to be very, very aware.
We were warned they were coming. And for those who came to peacefully protest, any message they had to send was hijacked by this.
This isn't anti-capitalism, this is art. If you're going to have a protest, don't with art.
That's corporate art.
Did an artist make it? Did an artist make it? Were they paid to make it? Yeah, I'm sure they were. It's super upsetting. There's no reason. Like, this is a school that people come to get educated. If the biggest problem is people not being educated, then why would they destroy a school? It's a school.
It's a very logical conclusion to draw, but this night there was no logic. Animals. And in seconds, the spray paint was out again. Cleaning spray paint is one thing.
No more fires! No more fires!
Standing up to a bully with a burning barrel, another.
Stop it! Stop it! No fires! Stop it!
Yes, those who came here to make trouble got themselves on television. But let's give credit to these folks who found some sense on a night that made no sense at all.
I think what we do is so important is because we do take this third-party stance and just observe.
Your life is more important than the life of somebody who's getting shot.
And if you're not out there finding those people who can firsthand explain how something felt or what they saw or what they experienced, you won't care as much as a viewer.
Excuse me, I've been shot at for a whole year in Afghanistan.
That's how our perspective can change, is the intimacy with which we can experience what somebody is going through.
Learn to accept each other.
You may not agree with your neighbor's passion.
Support these boys.
You can agree that their passion is important.
And this shall be a sign unto
If we can shoot in the moment, with the moment, and present it as authentically as possible to our community members, then we're doing our jobs.
That's what makes our stories memorable, and that's what we're driving for.
The company says half of its drivers work 10 hours or less.
Next, we'll share a little bit of what happens behind the scenes. And later, a roller coaster ride of a second straight trip to the Super Bowl.
We begin with breaking news. A semi-truck has flipped over on I-5 near 405.
The bee's tipping over.
Well, Joyce, we're talking about millions of bees here.
Probably one of our crazier mornings for sure.
Tell you about
You're hoping you don't get stung.
458 honeybee hives.
As the light was coming up, the bees were getting more active.
Move away.
Jake got stung like on the back of his neck, on his
I've been
hand.
stung on the palm of my hand.
He's talking to Mimi and he slaps on the back of his neck and he's like, I just got stung, Mimi.
I don't know if you can see the back of my neck here. They're still flying around. Right there. Mimi, badge of honor.
Like for a week, a bee would pop out of somewhere. I had bees in my camera, in my car. Krista, the other photographer, she had a bee that got inside of her camera. And that was a little crazy.
Photojournalists may be driven to capture those little bits of soul, but there's a technical side to the job that oftentimes has them making the best of a less than ideal situation. Here's King 5's Director of Photojournalism, Matt Mazinski.
TV journalists say it all the time. If people only knew what went into 30 seconds of TV news. For those of us that do it daily, it's even hard for us to fathom. Technology has allowed us to do much of our work right here in an SUV, or as you'll see in this next segment, just about anywhere.
It's becoming more common to edit in crazy places because we have a laptop and we can punch in anywhere and file from anywhere that has a cell phone tower.
Just two guys sitting in a car. Two guys in a car with this important news bulletin. I'm like in a glass case full of emotion.
It's actually nice being in an SUV now instead of a live truck, except for editing.
So we edit on laptops on the steering wheel. Reporter writes off to the side.
I like to stand when I edit, so I actually edit in the back.
So you have to stand up basically outside in the rain under the gate of the truck.
With the hatch back up.
Editing away.
From my knees down.
As you're getting pelted with rain and,
my pants are soaked, so.
Oftentimes we're racing against the clock and we don't really have time to rush out to the truck, track, which means voicing the story.
Incarnation, but has already left its mark. By definition, a major flood.
Out in the field, the best option you have is a jacket over the head.
The company says half of its drivers work 10 hours or less during the week.
And the newer reporters are like, "You're gonna make me put my head under a jacket?" Yes. They're not used to that yet, so.
Animal lovers who live here.
I've had Langler track into a Starbucks bathroom.
Yes, we do that. It's not uncommon to be in the middle of Starbucks with the jacket overhead. Or a dark room, sometimes a bathroom, but a bathroom can be echoey. And if you walk into a bathroom with a camera, you do get a lot of looks, so.
Actually, somebody was in there too at the time, and they were very confused on what was going on.
Oh, editing, yeah.
If you have a restaurant and you have outlets.
Power outlets, great. Room, awesome.
We'll probably frequent your place.
So we set up shop at a gay bar. So I was editing around about like 30 or 40 like half-naked people dancing around me. And it was distracting.
Weird things have happened out in the field though.
Everybody dancing made me feel out of shape because they were all in good shape. So that was depressing.
Good thing for us that I didn't know that.
And you've been there, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's quite the interesting group to manage. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the humorous side of our crazy career choice. But for now, I gotta get back to work. From the News Edit Lab, I'm Director of Photojournalism, Matt Mrozinski, signing off.
Still ahead, the days are numbered for our longtime home. Why so much of King 5's future is tied to the history in this building. And when we come back, the year's most powerful stories were often found on the darkest days.
Good morning, Hunter.
Every day, every afternoon, the bus comes by and she makes sure, her husband makes sure she's there by the window and she does her little wave.
She always remembers to wave to the kids of the bus, so that makes me feel really special.
She had a stroke and was in the hospital for quite a while.
How are you?
The bus driver had a picture taken of all the kids waving, had it mounted up and gave it to Grandma so she could have something to look at while she was recovering.
Gives her something to look forward to every day.
I miss them too.
She was, trying to say, I miss them too, and I'm trying to get better. And
show me how you wave at the kids on the bus. You always wave with two hands.
It meant a lot to her, and those kids mean a lot to her.
Makes you feel warm inside.
Just the littlest thing like a wave can make the difference in so many people's lives.
Some of those stories we went on.
This is not right, and I'm tired.
They were tough to roll in on.
it's been nonstop. It's just been go, go, go.
Well, every day through a lens, we are capturing history that's happening right in front of us.
It is with great intent that King 5 photojournalists seek the moments that have the biggest impact. The hope is that through every story, you'll understand your neighbors a little bit better than before, and perhaps find new perspective through someone else's struggle.
This year, our region again had the eyes of the country turned upon us for news that was hard to cover.
It's not the same. It will never be the same. A lot of memories were lost.
For much of the summer, wildfires again burned in central and eastern Washington.
Oh my.
John Langler and I were shooting the fire alongside a road, I believe it was Okanagan County.
It's eaten. It's a living, breathing thing.
And the fire just kept going.
It is flying down this hill.
One of the people that we were speaking with, he says, you know what?
I think I might need to go.
John and I spent about 5 more minutes there, and then we needed to go.
It's time to go.
It was going to reach the road in a matter of minutes.
So we've been watching the fire burn. You can see it right here. It's crested this little ridge. We're on Highway 20, heading back towards Tonasket, and the winds have fueled it. Look at that. You can see how close it is right now. There's a family right below this ridge that just started evacuating. We're getting the heck out of here.
The community of Spring Coulee.
Let's go right here with it. Yeah.
We committed, we are going to find a fire. We're going to find people fighting this fire. But everybody there said, you really need to go up the hill and talk to the family up there.
They're more worried about right over here in the corner. It's coming down this way, so they're worried about it coming down over here.
It was amazing how the family thought that they were going to be out there alone, and then suddenly,
these guys show up.
Want to keep the house safe. These firefighters willing to just sit there and wait with them all day. The house is being basically attacked by this fire. It's encroaching on all sides, but don't worry.
Just telling me, it's okay, it's okay.
There were times when we would show up the morning after one of these fires had gone through an area, and an entire neighborhood was just ashes.
My volleyball thing. Your volleyball thing from childhood.
One day we decided to go really far out into what's called the Tunk Valley. It's normally a really scenic, beautiful part of the state, but this is right where the fire line was creeping down a hillside. And the firefighters hadn't even gotten there yet.
We found 20 or 30 folks on one street fighting a legit wildfire themselves.
People in the community were out there with shovels.
Ah, to hell with that.
They had hoses, they had buckets of water.
With axes, trying to beat back the flames before they got to their homes. And some of these people, including a local firefighter, had lost their homes in the days before this fight.
We lost everything.
He didn't bring it up. He had other homes to save. He wasn't thinking about himself.
Again, homes were destroyed, and again, our state experienced its largest wildfire ever. This time, however, lives were lost.
3 firefighters had just died in this state, the worst wildfires in the state's history.
Tom Bashevsky, Richard Wheeler, and Andrew Sajak died when the truck they were riding in suddenly crashed, and they were unable to escape the flames.
No, we're just going to keep it simple.
We watched agencies from across the state come together and to pay their respects to these 3 men.
I was at Lake Chelan when it broke out.
People came from all over and they sat in the street with their, they brought their chairs.
You see this 4-mile procession go right through the heart of downtown.
Just so incredibly thankful for their sacrifice.
Seeing everybody come together, strangers come together to pay respect is pretty powerful and pretty uplifting.
The most powerful visual from that day was seeing 28 U.S. Forest Service members standing in the same attire.
They didn't really say much, but I think the looks on their faces kind of said it all.
It's pretty devastating to our community.
Yeah.
Everyone in Washington was saying to them, thank you for protecting our state. Thank you for saving our property and our land.
Rest in peace, gentlemen. Rest in peace.
Somebody is outside one of the doors, shooting through the door.
The biggest story was when they sent me to cover the Roseburg school shooting.
Our job was to put you there.
In October came yet another school shooting.
And we just keep hearing screaming, and I look out the window and I see people running from the scene, and that's when I knew we need to get out. We have to go.
10 people were killed the day a student walked into an English class and opened fire.
Obviously, it didn't happen right in Seattle, but it happened in the Northwest, and the Northwest is a close-knit group, and we needed to tell everyone exactly what was happening there and how devastating this event really was.
Really, the whole town showed up in that candlelit vigil.
Please pray for the families who still are unsure where their loved ones are.
My heart goes out.
And then as much as Roseburg was broken, we saw their heart.
That candle, it's yours. Thank you very much.
We saw people doing things that, helped them come together in a tough time.
Why does this stuff happen?
There's no acceptable reason for you to go out and just kill people.
We were just driving, looking for stories.
Just on the outskirts of Roseburg.
We found these kids sitting, just trying to make sense of it all.
Had lost somebody, or they've been bullied their whole life and didn't feel like that they had anybody.
You had a lot of different views after the shooting. People were fighting against Obama.
What a shame that he's politicizing this time, right now.
You just had all these people clashing together, but they were all there for the community.
It's the Orgonette line with Roseburg Strong and a Green Heart.
It brought them together. It made them stronger.
You're celebrating these kids coming back to school.
As the cars are driving down the road, waving American flags, firefighters, waving. Everybody was there for that school.
It's about healing and finding the strength to come back and be UCC strong.
First of all, we've had a terrible tragedy. There's been a terrible loss of life, and there's been injuries.
That was a tough story.
People on the bus flew through the front of the windshield.
In late September, a bus filled with college students was headed to downtown Seattle when a duck boat crossed the center line and hit them head-on the Aurora Bridge. The devastating collision injured dozens and left 5 people dead.
I just passed that bridge 2 hours earlier.
That is real life. That's what happened here in our city today.
There was just people being put on stretchers and people being cut out of the bus, and I couldn't believe what was happening.
Any other vehicle has airbags and everything else, but they were helpless.
It's not just a bus crash, it's everybody on that bridge that day had something that all of us can connect to.
It was just terrible. There were so many people in so much pain. I could tell what was going on. I just couldn't wrap my mind around it.
Tragedy is always hard to cover.
With all the bad that comes out of things, at the end of the day, there's so many good people that show up.
That's really cool. I told them that was so nice. Come out and take care of everybody. That's just wonderful of them.
But the story oftentimes isn't the event, it's what you find by looking past the wreckage and beyond the flames.
So the guys come home and said, "Oh, it's a level 3." And I went, "Well, I'll leave when I see the flames." So.
Come along this golf course, and there's a grandfather and grandson playing golf in the middle of the wildfires.
Local businesses in Wenatchee the next day were saying, "Hey, come on down. We'll give you a pair of shoes, a pair of jeans." Just those basic necessities that a lot of people lost in the fire.
We've had tremendous support from all our friends and family, and couldn't ask for more.
Hi Dale, it's Tanya, how are you?
A motel exploded in Bremerton. You have to credit the hotel receptionist. I mean, she's the woman who evacuated the whole hotel.
We'll see when you get here, okay?
I don't think people understand just how much of a hero she really was. I mean, we're talking about a motel that was packed.
We're out of food and you can't get up and down the hill. I mean, the road's blocked. This is a godsend.
The best story will capture the human spirit.
Everybody just coming together to help.
Because in tragedy, we sometimes see the best in humanity.
You get to see the worst and the best, and often within an hour.
They can take our house, but they can't take our heart. That's my new motto.
And when we come back, was it destiny
We were in Phoenix covering the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Everybody was so intense down there. There was a sea of blue and green throughout the city. The day before the Super Bowl, we decided to take a break. I wanted to take a hike. Even on the trail going up to the top, you could see so many Seahawks jerseys. You get to the top, it's pretty windy. And all of a sudden I see this family from Sammamish raise a 12th flag. They call out and they're like, everybody who's a Seahawk, come over here.
All 12s, get up here.
Wow, this is just so cool to have a representation of Western Washington right here in Arizona.
There's something about the spirit of this city when the Seahawks start winning.
Good, yes.
People expected them to go back.
My goodness sakes, we're going all the way.
The whole city was just one-track mind.
Look around, it's a little scarce in here, huh?
We got a game to play.
Hey, man.
I tell you, it's the most cloudy time of the year in February, but if the Seahawks are winning, you'd think it's blue skies and sunshine every single day.
What a way to start the day with those hawks.
The incredible Green Bay game, holy cow.
Feel the energy in this town.
Picked off.
They were down by a lot.
Come on, Seahawks, you gotta win this for us.
Even though they were down by 17 with 4 minutes to play, they were going to win the NFC Championship. And they did.
Wilson toward the end zone.
It was destiny.
You could feel the air pressure from how loud it got.
City goes ballistic.
We all, and the fans all thought, this is in the bag. 2 Super Bowls consecutive, you know, how amazing is that?
The Seahawks were not going to lose.
You're the champ, you know.
We were watching from a little monitor in the concourse, and Kearse makes that amazing bumbled, I don't know how many times it flipped in the air, and he landed on his back and kept it alive and caught the ball.
He caught it.
This is awesome, 2 years in a row.
Seahawks are on the 5, gonna win second straight Super Bowl.
And then
Play clock at 5.
And then they lost.
Pass is intercepted at the goal line.
oh my God. You just feel the disappointment.
Unreal.
Probably should have run the ball.
You get used to disappointment.
Well, Blue Monday.
I have not cried in a long time. I cried a little bit tonight.
I hate Blue Monday.
We came so close.
But you know, I really hate Blue Monday. The point is that this team has expressed the spirit of the city of Seattle.
I just enjoy the fact that they're relevant.
We do believe. We believe!
Up next, the inspirational stories. Not all the news is bad.
A woman had to give up her son at the age of 13 just because she herself was young and couldn't care for the kid.
To give him a beautiful life that I couldn't give him.
So she put him up for adoption. The adopted son was able to get his original birth certificate and kind of started going through the process of meeting his birth mother. As soon as we heard the doorbell ring and we knew it was him at the door, I mean, I got butterflies.
Good to meet you.
Him, his birth mom, and his adopted family. It was the first time they were all under one roof together.
Well, it was my pleasure.
To me, one of the best moments to capture was just when you said, "I love you, Mom."
Mom.
You know, we say it all the time to our family, "I love you," but this was the first time he said it in 20 years.
I feel like my heart is whole.
Beautiful and pure and incredibly emotional, and it was just, it was a great moment.
I
can relate to this one then. I'm a bad girl. It's not mine, but I can relate.
If you were to ask any photojournalist, they'd probably tell you their favorite part of the job isn't necessarily covering the big news headline of the day, but instead it's getting the chance to capture some of life's most emotional moments. Stories that might make you laugh or cry or sometimes both, and always leave you feeling inspired.
Some veterans and soldiers at the Museum of Glass in Tacoma, they had some PTSD, and one way to deal with that was to make art.
And that's the beauty of art therapy. It's calming, it's healing, it can be transformative.
Pretty cute.
David Tucker is a retired major in the Army.
You let maybe things that you carry from the past, you let them go for that moment. You're just in the moment of creating something new that never existed before.
He helped create this work of art.
It's what ties you to each other. It's what keeps you alive.
It's called brotherhood.
One of the most poetic things we could think of was one hand helping another hand to get up and to rise. And then I don't know if it's a little bit of an aspect of PTSD that still affects me, but when I look at it, it still makes me a little emotional each time.
For them to find an outlet, like blowing glass, is kind of a pretty big achievement and a pretty cool way to kind of tell a story.
I really don't know why it's such a fascination, but I think it's cool.
I'd always wanted to do a story on the gun wall.
When I look at it, I think of germs.
It's nasty and awesome at the same time.
The BX for the Bronx.
Then the family from Bronx, New York was there, so that definitely personalized it, and we were able to tell that story around them.
BX. The Clayman family came all the way from New York just to see it.
This was the thing that the kids were most excited about. We had to see the gun wall.
Look, Mom and Dad told them, but don't touch.
The big goal today was trying to keep the kids from planting their faces on it or eating any of it. That was the big goal.
And that's no easy feat. When the other big goal for anyone who comes here is to add your own gob of gum.
Yeah, that one stuck.
To this colorful canvas.
I didn't feel good. It feels like I need to go wash my hand, definitely.
It's a tradition that began in the early 90s among people waiting in line to get tickets to Market Theater.
Amy, did you put yours?
And over the years, the gum wall just sort of stuck around.
I like it. Kind of gives like a little bit of culture to Seattle, so it's kind of cool.
A work of art to some, while others work to understand the draw.
When I look at it, I think of germs.
And for the Claymans, a chance to leave their mark.
Right there.
In the Northwest.
The Seattle market is a special place.
Hey, that was a good shot.
We're very lucky that a lot of people have let us into their lives.
Still to come, what's so special about this old building?
Picture your great aunt's house. And you love going there for Christmas every year. But it probably could use a remodel.
It is with mixed emotions that King TV will soon be leaving our longtime home here on Dexter Avenue. The new station in SoDo will replace a beloved but aging building that no longer suits the needs of a modern television station. Rooms that were once essential now serve as convenient storage space
and decades-old equipment sits idle and unused. But for a long time, this was the place where history was recorded, memories and moments that we hold close to our hearts.
You can't spend as much time as we have here without being nostalgic.
Photojournalist Dave Wyke remembers the days when news stories were edited on film.
Oh, that's so cool.
He remembers learning how to edit in this very room.
Not just old photographers, it's old equipment. I will miss this place and this building and this whatever it was. It's been a good place to work.
So this was our newsroom when I first came to Channel 5.
And as photojournalist Mark Anderson gives us a tour,
It was a family.
every floor holds a memory
I can remember fights in this room.
and a piece of the past.
I can remember the anchors used to head up this way, and one of the things that they would do was they would stop by the news analyst's office for a little bit of a I don't think I should probably even say it.
Can point to that office and say that was Greg Palmer's office. You know, you won an Emmy with Greg. Running the tapes into play to air, all the edit stalls down there, and Janet DeGangi, the chief editor, that used to yell at me back over there.
To say we are nostalgic about leaving this building would be an understatement.
It's really sad to see it go.
But as we prepare to move, one thing that will come with us is the longtime tradition of excellence on which this station was built.
I'm talking about amazing people over the years. Reporters that have gone on to the networks and photographers that have been just truly outstanding. But the building doesn't make king. It's really, we're going to take our legacy with us. And I'm excited to be in the new space. My voice is probably cracking and I'm rambling.
Among the many talented people behind the lens, we want to recognize one in particular before we go. For the second time in 3 years, the National Press Photographers Association named Doug Burgess Photographer of the Year. It is a prestigious award that speaks to Doug's commitment to the craft. And as we look back on 2015, it is a proud moment for our entire staff. I'm Heather Graff, and on behalf of all of us here at King 5, we thank you for watching.